As we ended 2019 looking at one of the most expensive cameras we've ever reviewed with the Panasonic S1H, we thought it made sense to start 2020 where it really matters, by looking at the best budget cameras that you can find on the used market. For this, we scoured that used market to find our 3 favourite options for that budget-conscious filmmaker. Now, these cameras represent a combination of outright value, video quality, and bang for buck. Inevitably, this list will divide opinions, so don't be afraid to let us know what you think in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get straight in and look at my number 1, the Canon EOS M5. Now, the M5 was a camera that somewhat underwhelmed when it hit the market just over 3 years ago, but much like its replacement in the EOS R, it's a camera that over time, the users of it grew to love. It can be found on the used market today, usually with a 15 to 45 kit lens for around £300 to £400, and at that price point, this represents incredible value for money. You're getting a mirrorless 24.2 megapixel APS-C size CMOS sensor that's powered by the Digic 7 processor. There's no 4K or high frame rates in this camera, but you do get a fantastic quality 1080p with Canon's renowned colors and the incredible dual pixel autofocus system. So in many ways, the Canon EOS M5 is the perfect lightweight vlogging camera. That is, if 4K is not important to you. Next up on my list is the Panasonic TZ200, or the Lumix ZS200 if you're in America. Now for me, the Panasonic Lumix TZ200 was the vlog camera that everyone overlooked. Released in March 2018, this camera has always been overshadowed by the more illustrious and fashionable releases from Sony and Canon, but coming in at a mere £400, this camera represents incredible value for money. It's a pocket-friendly, compact zoom camera powered by a 1-inch sensor that can record 4K at up to 30 frames per second and incredibly 1080p at up to 120 FPS. The image quality that this camera can render is actually really impressive. It is right up there with the G5X and even the Sony RX100 Mark VI. And when you consider that this TZ200 is a fraction of the cost of that Sony, you start to see why I've put this on my bargain list. Now, there is a pretty heavy 1.5 times crop when you are filming in 4K, and the aperture range of that integral lens of f3.3 to f6.4 is really limiting for your creative choices. But this camera more than makes up for it in terms of image quality, bang for buck, and overall usability. And third and final on this list is the Sony A7 Mark II. Now, this probably seems like an obvious choice, and it's true, you can't go far in the used market without coming back to the Sony A7 range. And that's really because this camera represents such incredible value, coming in on that used market at a mere £550. For sure, this is a 6-year-old full framer, but in truth, the quality of that sensor and the image it renders is almost impossible to beat in the sub £1,000 price point. The hybrid autofocus system is great, the image stabilization is rock solid, and even the lightweight and robust codec it films in is really good, holding up to today's standards, giving you a perfectly usable and great quality 1080p video. But as with all cameras in this list, there are some shortcomings by 2020's high standards. But for me, I'm willing to forego 4K video, 120 FPS, or even that extra battery life to get access to that gorgeous full frame image at such an entry-level price. For the newer or casual video creator looking for a decent but budget entry point into the world of video, these represent 3 solid choices for you. But as ever, let us know what you think in the comments below. For more information on these cameras, there is some links below, and whilst you're down there, why not consider subscribing to our channel or even signing up to the Filmmakers Club on Patreon. That's been my grab and go review list style. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.